High above the farm fields in East Arkansas near Wynne, you can see them soaring on any given Saturday afternoon, weather permitting, these airplanes without engines. And that's where we'll begin this week's show. And then we'll take you to the Alum Cove Recreation Area in the Ouachita National Forest south of Jasper to show you one of the largest natural bridges in the state. And we'll close it all out with the Buffalo Gap Auto Tour in the Ouachita National Forest. So for now, let's go soaring.
130 knots. Up to 0. Ventilation on. Turning back.
Soaring is described as the art of sustained flight without a motor, harvesting the air for fuel.
It's an incredible sport, and it's a sport that it's really easy to become addicted to. And most people think when you say no engine at all, most people immediately kind of shriek away and think of it as being something that's very dangerous. But it's really not. You have to know your business. You have to know what you're doing. But it really is an incredible sport, and you know, it really holds a lot of enjoyment for the person that's willing to do the work and gain the knowledge necessary to learn how to do it. Since we don't have an engine, we're having to make an awful lot of decisions in a very short period of time. So you're having to just think all the time, much more make decisions much more rapidly than you would flying a power plane or driving your car. And so it's very easy for the time to just pass by. You know, you can fly for 2 or 3 hours and it seems like it's been 15 minutes since you took off, you know. And you can have a short flight when the conditions are very poor and be struggling to stay aloft, and sometimes that type of flight seems very long too, even though you're not airborne for very long. And we make flights out of here. We've had guys go north up as far as the Missouri border and return. And we go down to Helena at times. Last summer I was fortunate enough to make a flight to Clarksdale, Mississippi and back on a real good day. And it's just very enjoyable.
For each pilot, the first-time feel is different and unforgettable.
Oh, it's the first time I feel like I knew how to dance. Not too good on the ground, but for my 40th birthday, I decided I wanted to give into I'd always wanted to learn to fly. So I went and learned to fly little power planes, and when I got toward the end of that, I realized, too old to be an airline pilot. And I discovered soaring. So it adds a whole new aspect to it, which is you don't have the engine to keep you aloft. And so it's kind of learning a new set of problem-solving skills that you flip the problems on yourself. So it's a lot of fun going out trying to get from here to a city, you know, 20, 30, 40 miles away and back again without anything other than what nature's providing for you.
So how do you control the kind of harnessing the air and the wind together to get you from there and back?
That's the whole sport of soaring, is learning what you're looking for. There are cloud patterns like we have here today. You're trying to watch which clouds are getting bigger, which means they're growing, and which ones are getting smaller, and you go to the ones that are growing because they're still sucking in energy and providing lift underneath them. So it's not so much the flying the plane as learning how to read the sky. That is the sport of soaring.
Crossing your nose. Good. Got him.
The Memphis Soaring Society is one of the oldest continuously active soaring clubs in America, founded in 1947. Their field is located 9 miles north of Wynne off Highway 1 and then 1 mile east on County Road 338. The members come from varied backgrounds. Some were commercial pilots, some military pilots, but they all come here to play.
Started out flying in the Marine Corps. The last thing I flew in the Marine Corps was F-4 Phantoms. And then after my injury, 1970, I was injured in 68. In 1972, I ran into a gentleman who had an old air coupe. And he said he didn't have rudder pedals. And he said, well, why don't you come fly with me because you don't have to use your legs. And I really didn't believe him. I'd never seen an airplane without rudder pedals. So I went out with him and flew with him, came back home and told my wife I got to buy an airplane. So got back into aviation. And so I've been flying airplanes now for about 42 years. And with a small, about a 4-year hiatus away from it. And got into gliders on and off over a number of years, fly a little bit and then move. And then 2 years ago, I decided I really ought to get serious about this. So I went out and got my glider rating. And this is my first glider that I've owned by myself. And it's an old bird, but it's my bird, and that's what counts. Gliders actually require more skill, more flying skill. Gliders are very easy things to fly, but very difficult to fly well. They take a great deal of work, constant study. It's a real craft, much like sailboats, I would assume, not being a sailor. A lot more fun. To me, it's just like a bus driver going out and getting in a sports car. It's just a lot more fun.
It's really serene when you're up there. I mean, it's just, you know, beautiful, especially a day like today. You could see 50 miles and, you know, all you hear is the wind, and it's just very relaxing, therapeutic. You can let go of everything for the day, and, you know, when you're doing this is all that matters. It's just very, very relaxing.
Because there's not an engine involved doesn't mean that these planes are not sophisticated.
In this particular airplane, we have an instrument called a Cambridge LNAV, which is basically a flight computer that's made just for sailplanes. And it's hooked to a Cambridge GPS, which is also records all of your movements, your altitude and direction and so on. It's called a data logger. And then the third piece of equipment that works in conjunction with all this is a little compact pocket PC. So all of these are talking and sharing information back and forth. And the Cambridge flight computer has its own individual altimeter and airspeed in addition to the one that you see on the instrument panel. And the GPS at any instant in time tells the flight computer how high you are, where you are, how fast you're going, what direction you're going. And it uses all this information and it knows the performance of your glider. And even if you have water ballast on board or not, you plug all of that into the computer before you take off. And so the flight computer can actually tell you if you have enough altitude at any given time to make it home or not.
Usually during an average tow, the tow plane will take the glider up to about 3,000 feet or so, but it's up to the glider pilot as to when to cut loose.
On a normal tow, we get off typically when you feel lift. You may just get off at a particular altitude that you know will give you enough time to find some, but typically we'll pull the handle and let loose of the tow plane because we're at a high enough altitude and we're in lift at that moment. So you pop off tow, trim things up and rack right into a turn and try to start climbing right off the bat.
And then when you're coming in for the landing, where is the abort, or is there an abort situation?
No aborts and gliders. You don't get a go around like in power planes. You've got to get it right the first time. That's why we drill as students. You drill to make every landing exactly the same as the other. There's something called a pattern we fly, and you are at certain altitudes doing certain things the exact same way every single time, so that a landing is just a landing like every other one. But there's a lot of adjustments we can make in these things as far as if we're too high or too low. You can radically change the angle of your descent if you need to.
You'll develop a mastery of it after a while, they tell me. But if you look at some of these other guys here that, that are teaching us, and, they got, thousands of flights and lessons, and, you'll launch these guys at 11 o'clock some days and they don't come back till 5. And that took 2 hours for 4 rides. So some of us are better than others, and, they share that experience too. Mm-hmm. They give us their little hints and tips, and it's a very, very open community. There's no heroes or big shots. We're all just out here for the same reason, to have a good time, enjoy the camaraderie, a little barbecue at the end of the day.
Yeah, there you go.
See you later, sit home cutting grass, and I'd rather do this.
Turning in towards you. We're coming up over you now. Inside. Turn it downwind now. North side.
The Alum Cove Natural Bridge Scenic Area in the Ouachita National Forest is quite a unique area. First of all, you have one of the largest natural bridges in this part of the country. There are wildflowers galore here, and along a bluff line, you'll find some rather large cave-like rooms. So, let's go do a little exploring. The Alum Cove Recreation Area is located south of Jasper near the junction of Highways 7 and 16, north of the community of Deer. This natural arch is all that remains of what was once a quartz sandstone cave. The centuries-old weathering process of wind, rain, and ice formed the separation between the arch and rock overhang. Being 130 feet long and 20 feet wide, this natural bridge reportedly was once used by early settlers to move their wagons and livestock across the stream bed during wet weather. Depending on how much time you want to devote, you can take the short 30-minute round-trip hike, less than half a mile, just to view the arch, or you can hike the entire 1.1-mile loop trail to further explore this pristine and picturesque little valley. Hiking this designated national recreation trail, you'll find plenty of wildflowers along the way during spring and early summer, including the rare shooting star wildflower. There's also a large variety of hardwoods, from dogwood to redbud, hickory, umbrella magnolia, and beech. After you hike down to the bottom of the valley, there's a beautiful Ozark stream that you can take in before continuing up to the bluff line. As I mentioned earlier, along this bluff line, you'll find several of those cave-like rooms that are pretty neat looking. The first one is about 100 yards or so as you're walking along the bluff line. It doesn't look like much from the outside, but when you get up to it and look all the way down in there, there's actually two entrances, one from the side and way down there, and it's just awesome. Really awesome looking. Kind of eerie. Water and wind also shape these rather impressive rock formations all along the bluff line, including the cave-like rooms and overhangs. Native Americans once used these rock overhangs for shelter while on hunting trips, and at one time, free-roaming goats inhabited the cave rooms, giving the formations the local name of goat houses. So explore all the goat houses, the natural bridge, the wildflowers, and all that there is here at the Alum Cove Recreation Area south of Jasper in the Ozark National Forest. In an earlier episode, we featured the Winona Forest Scenic Drive throughout the Ouachita National Forest. They're behind me, where the Buffalo Gap Auto Tour picks up where the Winona Forest Drive leaves off here across Scenic 7 Byway. It utilizes 3 Forest Service roads forming a 9-mile loop throughout a portion of the Ouachita National Forest. Coming on in with us and let's go for a drive. The Buffalo Gap Auto Tour is 60 miles or so west of Little Rock in the Ouachita National Forest. The 9-mile unpaved portion begins on Forest Road 11, 6 miles north of Jesseville. This Backroads tour will take you through some of the Ouachita's beauty, treasures, legends, and folklore. After driving on Forest Road 11 for 2 miles, you'll come to the first turnoff to the right, which will take you up to Deckard Mountain Overlook. Black bears live in this area, and there's the legend of Deckard Mountain. This was once the favorite hunting ground of a man by the name of Deckard. And the way the story goes, one day Deckard was out hunting for his next meal, and upon running up onto a large black bear, the bear decided to make Deckard his next meal. But after an intense fight, both the bear and Deckard were found dead, lying side by side, with the bear having a knife wound to the heart. To the left of this vista, you can spot Pettigene Mountain, and in the center, the most striking landscape feature, the dome-shaped Forked Mountain, which is one of the highlights of the Winona Auto Tour. After Deckard Mountain, continue on Forest Road 11 for 0.2 of a mile to the Blue Ouachita Mountain Overlook. This is the large ridgeline running east to west. During the Civilian Conservation Corps era, a fire tower stood atop Ouachita Pinnacle off to the far right. When a fire was spotted, the lookout would phone the main CCC camp so crews could be called out. Continuing on Forest Road 11, you'll begin making the loop at Forest Road 788, followed by Forest Road 122, to which you will eventually reach the third overlook on the route and the namesake of the tour, the Buffalo Gap Overlook. Here you'll experience a clear view of the mountain pass known as Buffalo Gap. This historic route was used by Native Americans, explorers, soldiers, and settlers. Legend tells us that Buffalo Gap received its name from when Native Americans would chase bison down into the gap and then attack them from both sides. There are also stories of Spanish soldiers traveling through this area and being attacked by Native Americans. After one such attack, the soldiers supposedly buried their gold in Blakely Creek, which runs along the gap. When you're enjoying the magnificent vistas all along this drive, don't forget to also look down by your feet to take in the beauty of the wildflowers scattered throughout the region. Before you make this drive yourself, a good source of information is the Buffalo Gap Auto Tour booklet, which is available at the Ouachita National Forest office in Hot Springs and at the Jesseville Ranger District. So check out the Buffalo Gap Auto Tour for yourself and explore the rolling beauty of the Ouachita National Forest by way of the back roads. And for more on these and other destinations, and to view our maps or to order a copy of an episode, visit our website, aetn.org/exploringarkansas. And we'll see you again the next time for another exciting adventure on Exploring Arkansas.